What is up, all my dorks, nerds, geeks, and gamers? It's your host, Ghost here, and I'm joined with...
NikeY43.
And you are watching another episode of Dorks Movie Minute. We are back with our Falcon and Winter Soldier coverage. We have 2 more episodes to finish before we move on to Loki, which we will have up very soon here on the channel, guys. Alright, so episode 5. We left off episode 4. We just seen Walker lift the shield, and he bashed this dude's head in, and it ended with the bloody shield being lifted, and everyone kind of in shock of what just happened.
Everyone recording it with their phones.
Yes, and freaking out. Then we cut to Walker freaks out. He starts running down the street. He gets into this warehouse, and he's like shaking, and he's like looking at the shield, and he's thinking about why he just did what he did. Then Sam and Bucky show up, and Bucky's like, I need the shield. Like you're giving me the shield back now. You just killed someone. And he refuses. They get into a battle. And this is all before the opening credits even start. They have this epic 3-person battle. It ends with Sam actually grabbing onto Walker and pulling him forward while Bucky's got the shield, and he jumps into him, and they just like slam it right into his head, knock him out in one go. And then Sam then lifts the shield, and he's got the blood of Walker and the person he just killed on it. And he's thinking, is this the legacy Cap would have wanted to be remembered of the shield? So yeah, that's how that episode starts off. It's very riveting, very just surreal.
It started off really well.
Yes.
And then it kind of
goes
tapers
downhill
off as the longer you watch.
Yes, it does go downhill after this. Then Sam ends up taking the shield back home. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna take it from here. We're not gonna talk about everything in this episode because there's a lot of smaller things that happen. Sam and Bucky go back home. They work on the boat. They have a bit of a friendship talk, you know.
Yeah, and they have a big old party, you know.
Yeah, a bunch of family stuff. We have stuff with Carly, who is the leader of the Flag Smashers. Talking with her people, talking about the last episode, how they're setting up their plans to move forward there. Once again,
the only good thing I like about Carly's arc at all, it's just a very still character.
Yeah.
But the thing I did like about her character is you saw the slow transformation of what the serum does and what it brings out to you.
Yeah.
Because it hints back to that episode 2 or whatever, when Walker takes the serum and he asks his friend. Yeah. He goes, would you take it? He goes, hell yeah, I'd take it. He goes, how many people would save? He goes, it just makes you more the person that you already are.
Exactly, which is a good callback to Steve Rogers as well, which shows why he was so great as Cap, because he was already a good person. But that also is, for me personally, kind of what makes her somewhat a redeemable character, is that she does have the respect for Cap, but yet she's still doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
That's what that layer is that I think is just enough there to make it watchable, but it's not preferred. It's not your Breaking Bad style, your deep character development that we'd want to see in this type of series. But yeah, she doesn't say much. They're still working on their plans for the last episode. Something big's coming. They're going to hit up this, I don't know if it was a bank or what was GDC or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Some containment
to make
place.
A statement,
yes. To make a statement.
Another statement, you know.
Right. Then after that, we get to Sam deciding, you know what, I am going to be... Well, no. He goes to, what's his name, Isaiah or Ezekiel?
Yeah.
But he talks to him, and he says, you know what, I want to be the first black Cap. What do you think about that? And he's like, well, no person who's black would want to be Captain America. And that really offended Sam. He doesn't say anything to him right then and there, but you can tell that Sam really goes home and thinks about it, and it's...
He ends up seeing his nephews playing with the shield and stuff.
Yeah, when he wakes up the next morning. And then that's also a good segue, because after that we cut into Sam in the backyard with Bucky doing flips, and he sucks at throwing the shield at first, because, that's not his forte. He's not Cap. So he's missing a few times, it's coming back and hitting him rough, and he's getting knocked down a little bit. But eventually there's a montage, he gets it, he's doing flips, and he's making it his own. He's paying homage to Cap while still being the Captain America we as Marvel fans want to see him be, you know.
Hey, I'll give it to Marvel. Those scenes being Anthony Mackie look as Captain America. I'm not gonna lie.
He does.
I was like, hey, it's like old school Rocky vibe. It was like,
yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. Very much a Rocky montage for Captain America.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was great.
And you also get a lot more of those bonding moments between Bucky and Falcon in these moments where he's messing up and he's like, oh man, and Bucky's like, you got it, you good. Like, keep on going, keep throwing it, or whatever. Then we also see Bucky make arrangements with Wakanda about something. We don't know what this something is, but he's talking to the one Dora Milaje who is after Zemo. He's like, hey, can you do a favor for me? I want you, can you hook us up for this? So she ends up doing that. We'll talk about that in the next episode. Okay, then after that, man, Dora Milaje, they do the favor for him.
What's our plan?
Looks like we'll be cutting this part out.
Doesn't that one chick come from that agency that's in?
Yes,
like,
yes. We
is.
cut back to U.S. agent who is getting reprimanded for the killing that he just did.
He's having his court trial.
Yes, and he actually ends up getting off. They say because
but it's like honorable or dishonorable
discharge. Yes.
And he's very upset because
he's no longer Cap. It shows him on the street and he sees the posters and he's just
like he was very adamant because the government that he thought built him and then disowned him after leaving him out to dry, and he has a really hard time coping.
It's very much the opposite tale of what Sam's going through, is what the U.S. agent's going through, and then they kind of intersect in this point.
The one thing I give it is I think it's a good parallel between three different versions of Captain America, actually.
Yes. Well,
like a way of like doing, with them just going into interventions and time travel now. I thought it was a really good way to parallel three different ways of Captain America came about.
Yes, I agree with that as well, but I also think it's a good parallel to the three forms of government. Three different styles of ruling that exist in the real world. And they tried to make these three characters' ideals match these three different styles of
people of different upbringing.
Yes,
that's a good way to put it.
And so that's what this whole series was different ideologies coming together and to see which is right and wrong. But none of them are right and wrong. It comes on your perspective and what you see is right and wrong. And that's definitely what this series tries to get across their points. But yeah, episode 5, not much more happens. We meet U.S. agent still at his thing. He gets reprimanded. He loses the title of Captain America. He gets contacted by this lady,
I don't know how to pronounce
Theo Von, whatever, something, Baroness, crazy name.
The chick.
Yes, the girl from Seinfeld. She was in Seinfeld years ago. But she comes in and she's telling him that she's setting a team together. She needs him still. So just pick up the phone and answer, and she'll take care of the rest.
Thunderbolts. That's what that is.
Possibly Thunderbolts, guys.
That's what superheroes.
Now I don't. Okay, so now episodes 6 and 5 start to blur for me at this point. So forgive me if I start getting 5 and 6 stuff mixed up here, but next I believe we cut to Zemo, who is at the gravesite of all the people of
the Sokovia.
Sokovia, yes, that's the name of it.
The memorial to like the ground zero,
all the people that he fights for. So he's there, he's remembering the names. And you know what, as a Marvel fan, we should have known if he goes anywhere, that's where he's going to go. He's going to go back home as a character, that's where he belongs. Then Bucky shows up behind him and actually pulls a gun on him. And we all think, Bucky's going to finish him off right here and then this is the end. And then Bucky to...
Because Zemo's on Bucky's list.
Yes.
Bucky has his own.
Yeah, cutting way back to episode 1 and 2 to wrap up the character growth Bucky's going through to either finish off this list or not, depending on what he wants to do and how he grows as a character. But he decides that, he's going to wipe the name off the list, but he's not going to do it the way he has done in the past. So he actually changes the character, and he points the gun at him, and Zemo's ready to die. He's like, if you're going to do it, do it. And then Bucky lets go of his hand, and you see the bullets drop out of his hand. It was not. The gun was never loaded. He had never had intentions to kill Zemo. And Zemo at that point gets a little cocky, and he thinks he's safe from capture. He's like, oh, okay, you're not going to kill me, then I guess I'm gonna get out of here. He turns around and right there's 2 Dora Milaje on both sides of him. And they're like, all right, we're going to take him back to Wakanda where he belongs to pay for the crimes against...
they're going to sentence him to death.
Yeah, King T'Chaka. Well, we think. Later on we find out what happens to Zemo and at the very end of the series. So yeah, he's gone now. Then after that we cut to Falcon, who actually shows off his brand new suit for the first time. He opens up this case that Bucky gave him from the Dora Milaje.
Yeah, that's towards the end of episode 5 to get that suit.
Yes. He gets changed, and then episode 6 starts off with the battle of, right away they jump into the action scene of the Flag Smashers are attacking wherever building they were attacking, and then Falcon and Bucky and Agent Carter and Zemo, no, Zemo's not here. He's already gone.
Yeah.
Agent Carter, they all go in this building to try to stop them preemptively, but then there's like little attacks and battles going on the whole time that this whole thing's going on. There's even a point where a truck runs off a bridge.
Oh, yeah.
And you get to see Falcon use his wings. He flies up, grabs the truck, and then the red Falcon comes off his chest and cuts some metal off so it's easier to push back on the bridge. He pushes it back on the bridge, and he gets his big hero moment very early on in episode 6. After that, we cut to
yeah, because that's when in the crowd, I think when the person makes a comment, the person's like, "Oh, he's like, that's a Black Falcon."
Yeah.
And he goes, "No," he goes, "That's Captain America."
Yes.
Another, and I was like, "Yes."
Yes.
Like, it was a feel good moment.
It was a good moment. It was awesome, and it was cool to see the suit for the first time because like
the suit, I thought the suit was nice.
It's a great look for Captain America to have with the wings and the advantage he has in battle, the flips and the dives he's doing. Something Steve Rogers never did, so it's his own take on Captain America, which I 100% respect. And
yeah, because Falcon doesn't have actual superpowers at all. He doesn't
exactly.
So he's got his own twist to it, which I think is what he needs. He doesn't need to be a complete rip-off like how Walker was.
Yes.
A complete rip-off of Steve Rogers.
Yeah, unlike Steve had the strength, super strength from the serum. Unlike Steve, Sam uses velocity and momentum is what he does. The faster he can get his arms and legs is the harder he can hit you. So that's what the wings, he uses them for. Is he'll move his body in certain angles and degrees that he can get that perfect momentum and just
because he shows a high battle IQ, just like how Steve Rogers with his hand-to-hand.
Yes.
And Falcon's really good with using the new cap's using his wings now with the shield.
Yeah, which very awesome, guys. Very awesome. One of my favorite moments of this episode. After that, we cut to a fight between Carly, the leader of the Flag Smashers, and Agent Carter. Agent Carter ends up taking the shot on Carly, and she does shoot her. I know we're missing. There's a lot of smaller things that happen in this episode, but in all honesty, guys, they're not important. A lot of stuff.
Overall, as episode 6, it's not the greatest finale.
No, it's not. There's a lot of stuff that happens that's more just filler battles or running around and like.
It's like just certain unnecessary things to watch. And you're like, you're not interested in it. It's not, there's no info being passed along. There's nothing. It's just
right.
There's no texture.
Which one of the smaller things we did forget to mention, which we should, is Batroc the Leaper comes back. We find out he was hired by the Power Broker, which if you haven't figured it out yet, guys, spoilers in all these, of course. Agent Carter is the Power Broker. She has been since the beginning. If you couldn't tell that, I'm sorry, but
yeah, you could really tell a few episodes back. You're like, okay, it's.
Probably the second episode you see her, even the first episode you see her, it gives you vibes that she's not the same hero, Agent Carter, that we left off.
But she was a hidden character for me, like a Dark Horse character. I wasn't really expecting
to come back.
But when she flourished, I was like, even though her ending hurts was, but it showed her getting back into S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
The government. And then she was right back to her phone. She's like, I'm going to have access to all of this. And she's about to sell it to everyone. And I was like, no, this is good because she's got some real bitter intentions because she was wrong.
Yeah.
Really bad by the government, so. And I don't blame her, so.
Yeah, I agree with that. But it also sets up a bigger villain for Captain America 4, whatever they want to do with Sam Wilson's Captain America on the big screen. Will Bucky be back for that? Will Agent Carter actually be the main villain of that movie? I have no idea. Can it work? It can if they really buckle down and really focus on what. Because that's the thing. That's the thing I gotta say about these last 2 episodes. They were good, but they lacked focus. I think it would have been a better finale if they ended on episode 5. But if episode 5 was an hour-and-a-half episode, I think that could have worked better than if they split it into 2 episodes. But that's just me. So, back to the story. We got Agent Carter. Carly gets shot by Agent Carter. She ends up dying, not before Sam comes to her. They have a conversation, a little heart-to-heart moment. While Agent Carter kind of scurries away and gets out of the situation, and we don't know what happens to her from there. She disappears from there.
Yeah, she plays it up again. She's like, oh, I had to do this because Carly was whatever. Really played herself up as the victim. So.
Yeah. So she disappears. She's out of there. Sam picks up Carly's body, and he's like, you know what? I'm sick of all these different sides fighting because I can't tell who's right and who's wrong. He's like, even Sam acknowledges, he's like, I'm not even right. Like, who am I to tell you guys what side to choose? So that's what I like about Sam Wilson as Captain America. Is where Steve Rogers is very, he knows, he feels what is right and wrong, and he goes for that feeling. Whereas Sam doesn't have that.
Steve was more like he was more country based. Like he loved his country.
Yes.
And Steve was what America should be. Sam loves the people themselves of America.
Yeah. He's
So
more
that's
about
what-
the freedoms and all that. So then he basically comes in with Carly's body and he berates both of them. He gives a nice speech where he's kind of talking about both sides being wrong, and all this stuff. But yeah, basically it's a beautiful speech. I enjoyed it. I don't remember. I mean, I couldn't tell you verbatim what it is, but it was a nice speech, nice 2-3 minute long speech.
He makes it very clear to them. He goes, when he's talking to them and then they start fighting back, they're like, yeah, but they did all this. He goes, yeah, but look what you're doing to them also.
Yes.
The lines are blurred for everyone.
Yes.
And it's like, everyone's got to stop and really want to think, like, we need to help each other.
Yeah, we're all in the same boat, so if you're putting in holes or if I'm putting in holes, we all drown. So that's the point he was trying to make, which I agree with 100%. It's perfect for this day and age to hear that point. Everyone's got 1,000 opinions. None of them are right, so keep looking for the right opinion, guys. But yeah, very powerful moment. He leaves Carly's body there with the police officers. They end up taking care of it or whatever they do with it. And then Bucky, he actually looks at Sam and he's like, nice speech, Cap. And it was kind of the same thing he told Steve Rogers in World War II when Steve Rogers gave those speeches to the USO shows. He would say, nice speech, Cap. So it was a good passing of the torch to from showing that
a good homage.
Yes, showing that Sam really is Bucky's best friend, even though they have their squabbles, their fights and stuff like that. So that was a good moment. Yeah, that's it. That's basically the end of the series. Then we cut to Zemo. Yeah, Zemo's at the raft with Thunderbolt Ross under his control. That we hear of. We don't see Thunderbolt Ross, but we see on the files that he is in charge of that person. So yeah, that's basically what happens in these episodes. He's now a part of supposedly the Thunderbolts. We have a new Captain America who is Sam Wilson. Awesome suit. We got that. What was brand new. Bucky gives up his notebook at the very end. He is no longer the Winter Soldier at all. He is just Bucky Barnes or White Wolf. That is it.
And he tells the old man that he killed his son.
Yes. Oh, and another repercussion. Bucky cannot go back to Wakanda for a while because he kind of peed off the Dora Milaje, so he has to wait to go back to Wakanda and be White Wolf. So don't expect him in Black Panther 2, but maybe Black Panther 3. He might be back in Wakanda working around there. But yeah, so what are your final thoughts on these 2 episodes, or what is your final score? What do you think?
Let's get to work.
I think with so far, as we've had, Wanda and Vision, then we've had, Falcon Winter Soldier, and so now we're already listed. Well, Wanda and Vision for me are ahead of Falcon Winter Soldier. As an overall this series. Falcon Winter Soldier, it was good, but it had a lot of lackluster, not a lot, but there was lackluster moments, but then there was just also just unnecessary things like that we just didn't need.
Right. I agree with you. 100%.
And then the finale, it was kind of. I mean, the shiny moments. Sam Wilson as Cap was a shiny moment.
Yeah.
Bucky was a shiny moment. And Zemo was a shiny. Those three definitely.
Character writing, development-wise.
Yeah.
The
And
way
then
they played off each other.
And then Carter for me is a dark horse.
Original series now streaming only on Disney+.
You know, the one chick that comes in that gives Walker his, agent costume.
Yeah, she wasn't in it enough to really make an impact.
No, and
either
then,
way.
like, she's a great actress,
Yeah.
but it just,
Mr. Barnes,
like, her
why
character
does Sam
just,
aggravate you?
it stayed on screen and didn't jump off screen. It just
what's
wasn't
our
nothing
plan?
there.
Well, I would like to see her interact with more of the higher caliber villains than just the Walker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all we got to see.
That's probably what it is. Probably just haven't seen enough, but yeah. I know,
Superheroes.
Cap now, Sam,
Be allowed to
Bucky, and
exist.
then Zemo were definitely the highlights of the show.
I agree 100%. Everything you just said, what would you give a final score?
Overall, as a series, well, episode 5, I give it a 5, and then episode 6, I give it a 6. So they're not very high. And then overall, as a series, it would be a 7. Because I have WandaVision as probably an 8.
Okay, I got you. I'm going to agree with you 100%. I think WandaVision is a tighter story with only 6 episodes with that as well. I still think that it moved at a brisker pace, and I think the thing that helps WandaVision more than Falcon and Winter Soldier is that mystery, like that little bit of confusion that you have and you experience. Whereas Falcon and Winter Soldier didn't have that. We kind of knew what we were getting into kind of right away with that series. The one disappointment I had with Falcon and Winter Soldier, unlike WandaVision gave me everything I wanted. I was expecting weird, I was expecting strange, I was expecting different. I got all that in WandaVision. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I was expecting strong narrative, hard action, like constant action.
What are you doing?
Here's the thing, we didn't get that strong of a narrative. We got kind of a lackluster narrative where it was kind of dragging on and following one character, which was Sam, which was, I mean, I don't bother, there's no problem with that, but you name the show Falcon and Winter Soldier, and we're mostly following Sam. And it's like, give Bucky a little bit more screen time. That was my main thing, is Bucky I didn't feel got enough character development at all. It was almost all 100% Sam's story.
Yeah, because I thought Sebastian he was doing amazing.
He always does amazing, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I feel like he didn't get as much time as he
Well, even the ending where it says Captain America and Winter Soldier, that should have said Captain America and White Wolf.
Or yeah, something.
Or something, because he grew. He's no longer the Winter
Yeah.
Soldier. And that's something they failed to acknowledge, is he's no longer the Winter Soldier at all. Like, he's not going to kill anyone ever again. He's a good guy, as far as we know. But
Well, I would say as a technical aspect between the two, I like the longer episodes of Falcon and Soldier
I
than
agree.
the shorter
the
ones.
hour-long episodes
Then the
compared to the
WandaVision.
30 minutes.
Yeah, I like the longer episodes. Even though it's a shorter, you get less episodes, but I like the longer episodes.
I agree with that as well. Yep.
Mm.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with you. Except I'm gonna give it a little boost. I'm not gonna be not gonna be so mean. But episode 5, I'll give a 6. Episode 6, I'll give a 7. Overall, Falcon and Winter Soldier, I give a 6. WandaVision, I think I gave it 8 or something like that. But yeah, 6 in total for Falcon and Winter Soldier. Still a good series. Marvel, great job.
Yeah, no, it's still. I'd recommend it to people to watch it because it's still a good series.
Yeah, and it's not like, and that's the other thing we gotta remember ourselves too, is like Marvel doesn't do TV series until now. Like, this is their second ever TV series ever made. So I give it to them. Good job, Marvel. It was a good story, compelling story. It wasn't as deep as us Marvel fans wanted to see, but it was a good character piece, and we did get to see Sam become the new Cap. And I think it's good because you don't have to waste that time in a movie now, where we could have had a whole movie that would focus on this, and it would have been a disappointment.
Yeah.
So that's cool to see as well. But that's going to be the end of this Dorks Movie Minute for Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 5 and 6, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't seen our other ones, check out episodes 1 through 4, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Check out WandaVision's episodes 1 through 6, or however many, or 8, or however many episodes we're on that. And also look forward to our Loki episodes dropping very, very soon here on the Dorks Den. Leave your comments down below what you guys thought of these episodes. Like, subscribe, and share. And as always, keep it right here on Dorks Den. I've been your host, Ghost, joined with
Nike Y43.
Adios, guys.
See ya.